Good evening, all viewers. Welcome to Voiceit Talk Show. Before we start, we just need to read our disclosure here. We don't take responsibility of offensive languages or videos with live streaming. Our COVID-19 candle on our screen. Our candle on our screen is for the people that lost their loved ones with the COVID-19 epidemic. And we keep on praying for full recovery. So keep the distance. Soon COVID will be over. The purpose of Voiceit Talk Show. Our talk show will be broadcast in English and in Afrikaans. The show is for any person, organizations to voice their opinion in and around the Free State and around the world. The platform is to share information and knowledge. The viewers can also interact and ask relevant questions. Our topic tonight is positive mental health. Before we're going to start, I'm going to read you a short bio of our guest. She's Krista Burger here tonight. She was born in Bloemfontein and started school in San du Plessis Primary School. Finishing schooling in 1981 at Afrikaans Hoërskool Durban North in Durban. Studied social work at University of the Free State. Started at Southern Free State Mental Health in 2010 at Bochobello and moved to Bloemfontein office in 2012. She mentioned something very interesting. Mental health is not only a work, but it is a passion. Before we're going to continue, we're going to look at a short slideshow of her, and then we're gonna continue. I would like to welcome Krista Burger here in our studio. We hope the discussion is going to be very fruitful and all of you viewers will take something home after that. Feel free to ask your questions while we are busy with the show. So welcome, Krista.
Thank you very much. And I would just like to thank Voiceit Talk Show for giving us the opportunity to come and give information on mental health. It is much needed in this time of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Right. Before we start, we're going to look at the offices of where Krista is working from with her colleagues. We're going to have a short interview presentation of a director also, and then we take it from there again.
Good morning. I am Albie van Rooyen. I'm the Director of Southern Free State Mental Health. Thank you to Voiceit for this opportunity to give information about our organization. We were established in 1948 and we are part of the SA Federation for Mental Health as well as the World Federation for Mental Health. Our organization is working in the Southern Free State and we have offices in Bloemfontein, Botshabelo and as well as Jacobsdal. And in every office there is a social worker as well as a social auxiliary worker. The services that we are rendered is to persons with intellectual disabilities as well as psychiatric disabilities and also persons with emotional problems. We give to them counseling, group work. We also establish community work, protective workshops, and we try to reach out to all these people to get them, to help them as far as we could. Then also we have our protective workshop. It started in 1992 as a daycare center for children with intellectual disabilities. That is children where the parents couldn't work because they have to look after these children. In 2014 we changed it to a protective workshop, and that is where we run it now, and we are very proud of the services that is rendered there.
That was just to give you a short background of the company itself. Mental health, how are we going to see and recognize mental health? It's affecting a lot of things. I think in a way all of us are suffering from certain disorder of mental health, especially now with the COVID, that we have lost a lot of family members. A lot of us are suffering financially. Like myself, our shows have been closed. Others have lost their jobs, have lost their incomes. Others have broke up in relationships. It's affecting them. The votes that's coming up, the drugs that people are using. And even, I think on Monday night when we had a total shutdown on Facebook, it was mentally affecting all of us. And if you look in your lifestyle, somewhere along the line, you are also suffering from a disorder. All of us are suffering from the disorder. So before we're going to hand over to Krista, we're going to start with our first topic. It's bipolar. And we look at a short video clip and then she will brief more on it. And if you have a question, feel free to ask.
If you have bipolar disorder, you will have severe mood swings. At times you'll feel very depressed, and other times very elated. It affects about 1 in 100 people and usually starts between the ages of 15 to 19. It rarely starts after the age of 40. When depressed or in a low mood, you feel unhappy all the time and may even think that your life's not worth living. You might find it hard to concentrate or to finish anything. You may lose your appetite and struggle to sleep. You may believe that you are uniquely guilty or worse than anybody else. When elated or in a manic mood, you have a strong sense of energy and optimism. You may believe strange things about yourself and even hear voices that other people can't hear. You may believe you're on an important mission or that you have special powers. There are different types of bipolar disorder. With bipolar 1,
We are cutting it a little bit short, but you can look on our YouTube channel if you want to see the full video. But we got an expert here tonight to explain to you more in detail about bipolar. What I see of bipolar is that it happened more at a younger age than an older age. Can you elaborate on it, Krista?
Yes, like the video clip said, bipolar disorder is a mood swing. If you think of the polars, the opposites, so you get very bad periods and then you get very high periods that we call mania or hypermania. In the hypermania stage, people feel that they are indestructible. They can do anything. They will also do very dangerous things because they believe that they can do these things. On the bad side, it's depression, and it can be very, very bad. The problem is that these mood swings sometimes do not occur all in the same day. It might only occur once a year or twice a year, but we find that most of the persons that have bipolar disorder tend to fall in the depression group. It's very seldom that they do go to the high mania part. But then also when they are in this mania situation, then they get psychotic. And that is normally when they need to be hospitalized for their own safety and then maybe for others. It is also true that it starts at a young age, but sometimes if you have got bipolar, unfortunately it's a brain disease, so you will have it for the rest of your life. And then we normally use medications, psychotherapy. We teach the persons with bipolar disorder various coping techniques. Some of our mental health care users know their disorder so well that they will know when the next phase is coming, and then they will take precautions.
Okay, can I ask you a question like this? A bipolar person, he can be happy today in front of people, and then tomorrow he can attack and be ugly to another person, and he can change again, or is it not like
No, it's not like that.
Alright.
It's not that one day they are in a good mood or the next day they are in a bad mood.
Okay.
These phases normally take a long time. They will be in a depressive mood for months. And when they turn to the mania or the hypermania stage, that might only just last a week or two, and then they will fall back on the depression.
Is it a dangerous type of a thing to have? Are they putting themselves in danger or with people?
Yes, in the mania phase, they will put themselves in danger. And we've had people that think they can box, and they've never boxed in their life. So they will go out and they will go and find situations where they can pick a fight to show that they are strong and that they are indestructible. And in those phases, we normally try to hospitalize them for their own safety.
Okay, so it's a normal guy that can sit, and then when he get this bipolar phase, then he acts in a different way.
It's totally different. Totally different, yes.
Okay, that's the first clip, bipolar. We go to a second one, schizophrenia.
Alright class, get into your groups and start your discussion. Nurul, what are you doing? Get into a group now.
The teacher just wants you to get lost. You don't even deserve to live.
No, you're a student. You have to be obedient.
You must study. Everything here is about your diploma, your degree, for your future. Do you want to live a miserable life?
Come on, try on this lipstick. You need to lose weight. They don't like you like this.
Right, the word schizophrenia, they say people hear voices. And I've experienced a lot of people that hear voices, and I never knew it's this word schizophrenia. How does it come that they start hearing voices? Or
Okay. Schizophrenia is a disorder that affects a person's thoughts, his feelings, his actions, and they interpret our reality in a very, very different way. And it's a combination of things like delusions. Delusions is where they think everybody is talking about them. They might think that somebody is stalking them, or things like that. And then you get the hallucinations that we saw in the clip, where they hear the voices, and they will watch TV and they will say, "But the TV told me to do something. The voice on the TV said to do this," and it's very distracting to them. It's really a bad place to be when you have these voices in your head and you can't do anything about it. I have a mental health care user, let me just tell you this quickly, that also see people that are not there. So, and they will talk to her and they will tell her things. Mostly, these thoughts will be bad thoughts.
I've experienced some people, they are normal in a conversation, and when they drink, and the moment they get over the limit, they start sometimes acting weird, and then also seeing things, and then we will just say, it's just because this person has drank too much, or this guy, it's the substance that he's using that's affecting his brain. Tomorrow he will be fine, and tomorrow he won't even know what he was saying.
Yeah. It can be because of the alcohol abuse, but we found that persons who abuse substances, especially dagga and alcohol, tend to get schizophrenia, especially with the students today, because dagga and marijuana is so freely available and they abuse it. It can be the onset for schizophrenia. But I also want to tell you that sometimes they will talk to themselves. You maybe see somebody that will walk in the street and they talk to themselves with big hand gestures and some bizarre behavior. And it really impairs their daily living. Not all of them get violent or aggressive, but some will hit out the windows of the house, swear at passers-by that go by. And the community, unfortunately, don't understand these illnesses. And they target these persons with schizophrenia or mental illnesses instead of finding out why a person is behaving the way that he does. That is why we try and get the information on mental health issues to the community, so that we can try and stop the stigmatization of persons with mental health.
It's so interesting. Years ago, in December, we used to visit a woman, and she will always sit and talk, but for us it was great fun. Then she started talking to a person and shout at this person, and this person even got a name that she remembered. Every year we used to go to her, and she will talk to the person, just look what he's doing now, and as young boys we find it very stimulating for us, and it was a big joke. But but she was not violent, you understand? But she was watching the person moving in the lounge where we were sitting.
We must remember that all the symptoms does not always pertain to everybody. So everybody might have a different type of schizophrenia. So not everybody has all of the symptoms. But what I can tell you is that persons with schizophrenia have poor hygiene. They don't care about self-hygiene. They don't want to bath. They don't want to brush their teeth or wash their hair. That is common to most of the people with schizophrenia. And then they also try and withdraw from social events because they cannot handle themselves in crowds, and they can become very obsessive with religion and with the occult. And like I said, they use recreational drugs and alcohol very frequently.
Can you be born like that from a family member that you took it over, or is it to do with substance abuse?
The cause is not really known. It can be because of hereditary issues, or it can be a combination of your environment and the way that you were brought up. But like we said, we suspect that the use of recreational drugs, especially dagga, does have an onset on schizophrenia.
Those years when we were young, there was a lot of elderly people that was in the Second World War, and then they came back. But there was times when you could hear, then they start marching and attack, and it was like my mom was trying to explain, is the bombs that still in their brain, and then they're attacking us. We were the enemies, and they shout, and we had to run like hell.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah, that is what we call PSTD.
PSTD.
Yeah, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay, we'll
Remember-
come to that one
yeah.
then. All right,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
We'll come later to that one. So, schizophrenia had to do with substance abuse that leads to that in
Not an
60%?
Yeah, no, I will say 20%.
20%.
Yeah, yeah.
When you see people.
Yeah, you know, it's why schizophrenia is still such an open subject, where they do a lot of research because they are not really sure where schizophrenia comes from. But remember, most of our mental disorders is an illness in the brain. It's a brain disease. They have taken x-rays and scans of brains of persons with different mental disabilities, and they saw that there is a difference between a normal brain and persons with mental disabilities.
Okay. We'll be moving on. Interesting. We are coming now to post-traumatic disorder. That is what we were talking now about. But we're just quickly going to look at the video clip, and then we're going to discuss it.
How did I get here? I used to be an ordinary girl. Now, I'm just a sex object. I thought of escaping, but they did whatever they wanted with me. I could breathe, but I felt dead inside. When I was rescued, I thought the worst part was over. Then, I realized I didn't know what I was saying. I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. I felt horrified all the time, and didn't know why. I couldn't forget the traumatic event, as they started calling it. Thoughts, images, voices were always in my mind, reminding me of the horror I felt there. Even at nights, I dreamed about it. I was afraid of being awake because the thoughts wouldn't disappear, but sleeping terrified me even more. The dreams felt so real. I had the sensation that I never left that horrible place. My family told me to talk about it, but I tried to avoid everything related with the event. Places, men, everything. I just stayed home, trying to forget all about it, but it seemed impossible. My friends and family tried to convince me to get back to my normal life, but I just couldn't. Everything they told me made me mad. I had angry attacks every day without exception.
Post-traumatic disorder.
Yeah. Post-traumatic stress disorder usually comes when you have gone through a very severe trauma. And in our country at the moment, we have got hijackings, we have got murders, we have got rapes. Those are all very traumatic events. And when you start to, after 2 weeks after this event happened to you, you start reliving these events. In other words, you are having nightmares, or you are having flashbacks, and you are having negative thoughts like fear, or you get angry a lot, and you are easily startled. In the old days, when we had the war on the borders, the people came back, and when they hear a loud noise, they would duck. It was called bomskok in those days.
Yeah.
So war is also a very big contributor to PTSD. And it can lead to anxiety and depression. We must just remember that persons with post-traumatic disorder, trauma disorder, will try and avoid situations where this kind of trauma happened to them. There's a phase, they go through a phase, and normally they accept it with psychotherapy and with medication, and to work through what happened to them. But a lot of people get stuck, and that is what you spoke about, of the people that are running around still in when you were a child, shouting, the bombs are coming, the people are coming. Those people didn't work through post-traumatic distress order. So it can become chronic. But normally after 6 months, when you've had therapy and you've worked through it, then you can carry on with your life.
Would you say it's also a post-traumatic disorder that I've picked up with a lot of friends that I had? If his divorce, his marriage life didn't work out the way he wanted to, he just cut him off, and he says, shoot, I never want a woman ever. Or the lady will say, I'll never want a man at all anymore. And when they are busy with them, they get irritated. What would you say? What is the disorder there?
I don't think it's per se a post-traumatic stress disorder. I think it's just a very bad experience that they've had. And then it is their own choice then to say, okay, I never want to get married again, or I never want to go into another relationship. That's just a way to keep yourself safe and not want to go through something like that again.
There was some time ago, a couple of years ago, in the early stage when democracy took place in South Africa, and at Tempe, a guy had an argument with his senior, and he just took the gun and he just killed and shoot the people. What would you say? What was so disturbing in this guy's life, if you see how aggressive he got?
Yeah, I think maybe he had a very bad case of depression. You know, when you have depression, you don't see a way forward. He had so many attempts where he wanted his problem to be addressed, and he couldn't get satisfaction. And that is when he turned to being violent and did the bad things that he did. But the people that were in that situation, they would have post-traumatic stress disorder.
If we look at this post-traumatic, a lot of friends will tell you, listen here, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to commit suicide. And a lot of people take it for granted. And then after a year, after a few months, or somehow along the line, you have heard he or she have commit suicide.
Yeah.
What lead to that? Is it also post-traumatic?
It can lead to depression. But that's why I say, if you go through your steps and you go to therapy and you work through, it is not necessary that it will lead to depression and anxiety. So be cognitive and be ready, or be willing to go for help and assistance if you have any of these nightmares, flashbacks, fear, anger of an event that happened in your life.
All right, what can I do, for instance, if my son or my auntie or my uncle keep on saying this? How can I try to avoid?
The best thing is to talk to that person, make him realize that what he is telling you is making you uncomfortable. Try and find out why he has got these negative thoughts. I always say, as long as somebody talks about it, yes, it's difficult. But it's when they start to say, I'm feeling better, then you must worry. Because then they've already made plans. They know what they are going to do, when they are going to do it. And you will see they will start giving away their possessions, try and get their things in order. Then you need to.
Do you have an emergency number where we can say, man, we sit with this problem, this guy is keeping on saying that, where can't you assist, or how can the people go about it?
Befrienders in Bloemfontein, I unfortunately don't have their telephone number, but I can get it and get it to you. Befrienders is open 24 hours for persons like that. And then your emergency casualty wards at the hospitals. You take them there. And don't let them tell you, no, I'm okay, leave it. If you feel in your heart that this is a problem, you take them to the casualty.
Okay.
That is the quickest and the easiest way that you can get assistance right away.
We're going to move forward to depression. I think all of us are suffering from depression. Going to look at a short video clip.
Got 60 seconds? Take a mental health minute to learn about depression disorders. They cause symptoms that affect how you feel, how you think, and how you handle daily life. Depression should be treated by health professionals. Don't try to handle it alone or treat it with alcohol or illegal drugs. Treatments include psychotherapy or talk therapy, medication, and sometimes brain stimulation therapy. These treatments may also be used in combination with one another. If you think you might have depression, talk to a trusted friend, family member, or healthcare provider. The earlier treatment begins, the more effective it is. Learn more about depression through the NIMH website and take 60 seconds to share.
Depression. Depression is a thing that I think 100% of all human beings are suffering from that. How I get relief from depression is through music. I go into my studio and I start playing, or I go and sit with people that I don't know and talk the whole night, and tomorrow I'll feel much better about it. They say you mustn't drink, but sometimes when I take a beer or two or a few double shots, I also become very relaxed. What is your view on these things?
Okay. Let me start by saying depression is a biological change in the brain. It can also be genetics. If you have someone in your family that have had depression, then it might also be the cause. And then substance abuse. You having 2 drinks or 2 beers won't make a difference. But if you really indulge in alcohol abuse, that can also lead to depression. Because you know what, you do things when you are inebriated that you afterwards feel very shocked about or very bad about, and you hurt people in your friends or your family or whatever. Depression is, we all feel a bit of depression sometimes. If something that you've done or worked hard on doesn't realize or doesn't work out like you wanted it to, then you might feel a little bit depressed. But mostly we get over it. Depression is the ongoing feeling of sadness and hopelessness and not seeing a way forward. That is the real depression, and it's ongoing every day. You don't want to get up in the mornings, you don't want to make your bed, you don't want to see the children off to school. It really impacts your life every day and the functioning of your life. Sometimes you get angry outbursts, you are irritable, and when you start to isolate yourself from others around you, you lock yourself in your bedroom. You don't want to have friends around. When you start having difficulty sleeping and concentrating, wanting to go to work or go to school, then those are the real signs of depression. Then the family or the husband or the wife or friends must really try and help this person, like the clip says, try and talk to this person, get as much information that you can around depression, and talk to your friend and say, you know what, I can see this and this is bothering you. It's this is your life, this is what you are doing now, and it's worrying me. Can't we really just go and see somebody that can help you? Depression can be helped with medication, also with psychotherapy. Why do you have these feelings? Is it realistic that you have these feelings? Is there really no hope for you, or is there something that maybe triggered the depression? Those things are, you can work through it.
I do have a friend, but she will phone me and she said, I want to cry again today. Ek is heilerig. Then I said, okay, start crying. Let me hear afterwards. I didn't like the people here when I was sitting at the office. I want to be alone. And now this person is getting much more better, because when she gets like that, she phones me anytime and I listen to her and encourage her. So if there's no people like that, how can these people get well?
Yeah.
Because she just wants to cry.
I understand. And because they've got depression, they isolate themselves.
Yeah.
So they push away their friends. They push away the people that care for them.
Yeah.
But it is then that those friends, I always say a friend is a friend when you are in need. Those are your true friends. Your friends know you better than anybody else, or your spouse. And they will know when there's a change in your behavior. And don't just leave it there. Be there for that person. Even if you just listen, just for them to vent their feelings helps a lot.
Yeah.
Even if it goes in this ear and goes out that ear. But be there and listen. Be the board that they can bounce off. And sometimes I think, did I just say that? It doesn't sound like me. But depression is it is that deep feeling of sadness and hopelessness. And they don't see any other way forward. And it's then when the suicidal thoughts
Kick in.
Start. I will be better off
Without everybody.
Without everybody. Or everybody will be better off without me. It will be better to be dead. Then I'm not a burden to other people. Those are that's the warning signs of depression.
But I've already told this person that she must also stop using the tablets that the psychiatrist is giving her, because she gets so addicted that she believes she must drink that tablet that she can fall asleep, and she believes she must drink that other tablet in the morning. I said that tablets, and she's busy leaving it, and she's busy becoming a much better person.
Yeah. Now we must be very careful just to tell somebody, not to take their medication. That is why I'm an advocate for managing your medication.
All right.
Make sure that what you are taking, what the doctor is prescribing, you get the pamphlet with your medication. Read it. Know what your medication is about. Know what the risks are. Know what the side effects are. And you know, if you are not feeling comfortable with that medication, ask your doctor or your psychiatrist, please, can you prescribe me another medication?
Yeah, because a lot of them I see they get totally addicted or hooked up. They will even come in your house and say, "Man, don't you have that tablet or that tablet?" It's you can see there's nothing wrong, but it's something then pushing them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. Some of the medications you can get addicted to.
Yeah.
That's why I say know what you are taking. Know your medication.
All right. Well, people, that's depression. We continue with another video because I just noticed that Gregory Werner was asking a question here. Can we have multiple mental disorders? And that's also on our discussion here tonight. So, Gregory, we are busy with that one. And let's quickly look at the video and we'll leave the expert again with it.
Your personality is all the ways that you think, feel and behave. It's what makes you an individual. A great deal of our personality develops in childhood, where we learn how to deal with stress and form healthy relationships. But if we suffered adversity or abuse as children, we can grow up without healthy ways to handle stress or to get on with others. For some people, this can cause them to develop a personality disorder. Personality disorders are fairly common and affect about 1 in 10 of us, though many aren't that severe. If you have a personality disorder, you may do things without thinking and find it hard to control your emotions. You may find it difficult to make and keep relationships. You feel bad about yourself and may self-harm. You may mistrust other people or hear voices when stressed. You might struggle to control your feelings or behaviour, and this can get you into trouble. Talking to a psychiatrist or therapist can help you learn ways to manage your emotions and behaviour. It's very important to keep in regular contact with support services. There are also lots of ways you can help yourself. Hobbies and interests will help you handle stress.
There we have listened to a short clip of multiple personal disorder.
Okay.
Can you elaborate for us before I'm going to ask you?
Multiple personal disorders are, like the video clip said, it can be schizophrenia, it can be anxiety, it can be depression. But what we are trying to focus on tonight is the split personality. That's called DID, dissociative identity disorder. It is that person that one day maybe just be someone else. This disorder normally starts when a child or a teenager have been through a very, very difficult, abusive phase in his life. So he tries another personality, he takes on another personality to keep him safe from what is happening. This personality will have its own identity. It will have its own name. The person's right or own name might be Glenn, but the other personality that he takes on might be Stephen. And Stephen might be totally different than what Glenn is. He could be a child, he could be an adult, this other personality. It can even be that he takes on a personality of a woman. When Glenn feels that he is in a situation where he needs nurture, he will take on the personality of a woman. They have their own memories, they have their own vocabulary. The adult with a split personality might take on the personality of a child, and he will talk like a child. And it's very difficult to know what the stresses or the triggers are for a person to change to a new personality or to another personality.
In a practical way of saying that, sometimes because I'm in the entertainment all my life, you get a guy that's very quiet, you know him for years, he'll just sit and he will drink and he will behave. And then just one day you'll see there he's dancing on the tables and he act weird, he put his tie around here. How would you say, what disorder push him to that?
No, it might be that after all these years of drinking, he has now, the brain is now so affected that we call it Korsakoff dementia. It is where the alcohol has now attacked the brain so much that he loses reality. He will do things that he will never otherwise do. It is like a person like Alzheimer's or dementia that will do things that they normally don't do. So dementia is another form of mental disability. That is a whole nother topic that you can talk about at a later stage.
How would you say is people maybe suffering from anything on social media, for instance? You'll get a person, that person is very quiet, or that person will talk nice, but you get sometimes people on social media that will attack and humiliate people so badly. And if you look at it, but that person is actually not like that. How would you say?
You know, social media have given us a platform where we can voice many of our frustrations anonymously. The person that knows you that are on Facebook will know, but this is not the way this person is normally is.
Yeah.
But other people on Facebook don't know him. Or on social media don't know this person personally. They don't know what he's like. It is sometimes easy for a person to be aggressive or outspoken on another platform than one-on-one.
Okay.
So it's easier to be anonymous on a platform where people don't know you. It's much easier to voice your
But sometimes,
concern.
let's say there's certain groups where you can see where we are all on, but this person is so adamant to keep on saying what they want, and they know everybody knows this person, for instance. How would you say? But that person will never come to a meeting and say, "Man, let's talk." How would you say? Are they just very strong, or what is the psychological?
We must remember not to always say when a person does something, it's a mental disorder. It can be just that at that moment he feels so frustrated that he wants to get it off his chest.
Right.
A lot of people will not face to face. Some people would rather talk on the phone. I can't, face to face I can't do it, but I will do it on the phone. So it's just some of our personalities differ.
This multiple personality disorder, this psychic killers, are they also falling into this multiple disorder? During the days, a policeman in the night is killing people.
Yeah, it could be, yes. But that is not the same as a split personality. They exactly know what they are doing.
Oh.
It's not that they are at night a different person than that they are during the day. It is just that's what they do. That's the kicks that they get. That's where they get their satisfaction from.
All right, that is multiple personal disorder. We would like you to keep on asking questions. We go to a very interesting topic that's called narcissism. We're just going to look at a video clip and then our expert will explain.
Narcissistic personality disorder is the topic for this video, and a narcissistic personality disorder is a very interesting one. When I first learned about it in medical school a long time ago, there was a classmate of mine who told me that basically anytime you think about this, think about somebody in our class. I'm not going to mention his name, but when she mentioned that to me, it kind of made this personality disorder, come to life. And So you might say, well, what is this all about? Why did that medical student make this disorder come to life? Well, that student fit the description of this disorder perfectly, because he felt that he was better than everybody else, and then he felt that he was, basically the greatest thing since sliced bread, as they say. So people who are a part of narcissistic personality disorder
Right. The word narcissism. I would see that me, myself, I, and everything, what I say, it's right and you are wrong. Or am I wrong to say that? Or what will your verdict be?
No, that is completely right. A person with narcissism has an inflated sense of importance. He has to be the center of everything. He needs excessive attention and admiration. He thrives on it. If he doesn't get it, he will really get aggressive. He will get manipulative. He will get how can I say, nitpicking. He will get controlling if he doesn't get that.
So if he doesn't get it, he will even try and get rid of you in his company or wherever organization, because everything is to do with him, this person.
Yeah. If he is in a position where he is in control, then it's very bad, because he wants everything his way.
His way.
If he doesn't get it his way, he will rather get rid of that person, or he will make you do it the way he wants you to do it. It's we call it the highway or the my way or the highway. Unfortunately, those people never apologize, even if they know that they are wrong. They will adamantly, this is the way I want it done, and this is the way it will be done. And even if you know a way to show him that he's wrong, he will never.
Yeah, this is so interesting to know this word, because I've experienced with a lot of people. You can be tired of convincing them, or you just rather stay away from them because what they say, this is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right, we would like you to send us some questions. We're just going to take a short break with Brooks Hill playing, and then we can coming back to our program again. If there's any questions that you'd like to send, Belinda and Joyce McPherson, please send us some questions that we can discuss it. And Rachel Scott. Okay, we don't have a lot of questions here, but something interesting that Krista mentioned about the person that's a narcissism person. If you are at his organization or married to this person, you got something to tell them?
I just want to say that when you are in a relationship with a person that have narcissism, they lack empathy for everyone. They won't ask how your day was. They won't ask why you are feeling sad. They just don't care. And, you know, if you can and you want to leave this relationship, please do so. Don't even give a reason. Don't give him a second chance, because it will not change. He will try to contact you and he will badmouth you because that is in his personality. You just carry on with your life. Because they have this controlling behavior, many people cannot get out of relationships with persons with narcissism.
A person like that, can they also play a victim? If they know they have done something wrong, then they can play victim to get the support back from the group, or not really?
No, because he thinks he's God's gift to women or to everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think he will ever be able to play a victim. But he can say, listen, I will try and change. I will do this better. I will do that better. But they will never change.
Okay. No, that's a quite interesting statement that you make there. Voiceit went and visit Boitekong Protective Workshop. It's a workshop for handicapped children, am I right?
Intellectually disabled.
Intellectually disabled children. It's at Batu. And if you do have children, you can maybe contact that place also there. Let's look at the video clip of them. We're first going to look at the manager. And then we're going to look at the video clip of the people, what they are doing.
My name is Rahab Malebu. I am the manager of Boitekong Protective Workshop. Boitekong Protective Workshop is the project of Southern Free State Mental Health. It started in 1993, but permanently operated from 1994. Me as a manager, I started as a care worker in 1995. In 1999, I started as a manager of Protective Workshop. The daily basis work that we are doing in Boitekong Protective Workshop, because of this place, is mostly the people who are having intellectual disability. And most of them, they're supposed to get a 24 hours supervision. Their work that they are doing, they're supposed to be a care workers in the middle so that the product can be a better shape. We started slowly, but we produce better by now. The other thing that we are doing, we serve them by transport. We are having our own transport, which was donated by Lotto. And we pick up them from their places to the center in the morning, also take them back in the afternoon. The daily program, we start giving them a breakfast, then we do a daily work like handwork skills, like educational programs, like gardening, also like keeping the surrounding clean. And also money management is part of our project, product that we are giving them, so that they should know the money, even if they shouldn't, they can't count, but they should know the money by the size, by the color, and differentiate the money. And the other thing that we are doing, we are having a choir, then we can sing and dance. When we come to dance, they are so happy because it's the people that are always like to be loved, like to be happy, that enjoys fun. Thank you.
Jurif.com.
There we have seen this Voiceit protective workshop. Who's financing it?
We get a subsidy from social development, and that's it. We get a certain amount for every, I call them children, but they are actually adults because their mental disability makes them more like children. And we have to take care of them. And then the parents do pay a little school fee for us to be able to.
So you'll welcome any sponsorship that can help you?
Yes, please. Any raw materials that you might have. You saw there in the clip that they do hand skills. So any material, wool, whatever that can come our way, we will much appreciate.
Just one word here, intellectually disabled people. In the past, we used to call them different people, and we can't. Or what is your opinion on it?
Yeah, you know, persons with mental disabilities have the same human rights as me and you.
Okay.
And for us to call a person mad or cuckoos or is not right. It talks to their right to be treated as a human being. So the terminology have changed. We talk about a person with a mental disability or a person with an intellectual disability.
Okay. In closing, the viewers, how positive mental health, how can you close us with a positive mental health? What would you say?
All right. Our organization under the World Mental Health and our federation have 3 awareness campaigns a year. In March, we have our intellectual disability campaign, awareness campaign. In October, in July, we have our psychiatric disability, and then in October is our mental health. And you know, we always look at the negative of mental health, and we forget that there's also a positive of mental health. That is the way that you keep yourself positively, mentally healthy. Especially in this time of COVID and the pandemic, there have been so many sad things of people losing their jobs, of families being torn apart because fathers, mothers, grandmothers have died because of this pandemic. And you know, a lot of our marriages also suffered because now you are thrown together and then you realize, listen, we don't have anything in common anymore. And worldwide, there have been a spike in divorces. But each of us have to look into ourselves on how to make yourself mentally healthy. Don't wait for somebody else to do it, because they are not responsible for your well-being. You yourself are. Even if you start a new hobby, what's more important to me is positive self-speech, where you try and motivate yourself to be a better person or to be in a better place. Try and do exercises, try a new hobby, try and eat well, be more open to other people. You know, go out there. There are so many suffering or so much suffering out there. Just go out there and try and help. It will make you feel better in the end. So let's not just focus on the negative of mental health, but also maintain our good mental health.
Okay, on this note, we're going to close. We're going to say thank you to Krista. Try and look at the positive mental health. Things will pass, but don't go and sit in a corner and cry. You and you alone can make a difference. For our viewers tonight, thank you for tuning in. And if you can send our clip around to other groups, do so until we see one another again. Thank you.
Thank you.